Hello everyone and welcome. We're happy to introduce the CetaCon DDQ Bridge. Let's begin by looking at a common problem experienced by companies. Master data is the foundation not just for digital transformation, but for all levels of business operations. As customer business processes move from analog to digital, everything turns to data. Every enterprise manages and depends on this data, and yet they're all still struggling to make sense of it. How do you transform data into the accurate and meaningful information you need to grow and improve your business? There are a number of important reasons for companies to create a 360-degree view of their customers. Some examples include improving customer loyalty, identifying customer needs for cross-selling and upselling, identifying key customers, and better prediction of customer behavior. You may be asking yourself what this has to do with master data. Well, yes, it is true that many of the use cases mentioned require careful analysis of transactional data. Keep in mind that every transaction stems from the master data record of a business partner. If your customer and vendor master data is out of date, fractured, or incomplete, your analysis will yield inaccurate results and create a number of negative downstream effects. As we all know, implementing MDM is a journey. Once you start this process, you must continue to enhance and expand the value you deliver. To continuously improve the quality and accuracy of consolidated customer data, companies might use external services like CDQ address validation and enrichment. Or, if they need to maximize savings and procurement efficiency, they will want to identify corporate group relations which are provided, for example, by Dun & Bradstreet. But if a company has decided to employ external services, they will also have the requirement to integrate these services into their master data governance processes. Now here's where the CetaCon solution comes into play. What is the DDQ Bridge? The DDQ Bridge is an SAP-certified solution that enables companies to fully integrate third-party services into master data governance processes. This graphic shows the principal integration in SAP MDG. The requester of a change request maintains the business partner master data. When the requester has maintained all address data, the data is automatically transferred, for example, to the middleware. From there, the web service of the external provider is called. Based on the address data entered, a search for potential matches takes place. The search results are then transferred back to the MDG and displayed as an MDG change request. The requester is able to check the address and, if required, select the golden record. The selected data is then updated automatically. Let's continue with a demo on the MDG system that will demonstrate exactly how the DDQ Bridge works. Here we have prepared an example of the DDQ Bridge in action. In this case, the data steward, who has already maintained certain data, creates a new business partner in an MDG change request. He has entered the name of the company and the address data, such as the street, the postal code, and the city. What the data steward has not yet entered are business partner identifiers, such as a Dun & Bradstreet ID or a commercial register number. The same applies to tax numbers. After the data steward has maintained the house number, the provider's external data service is called up in the background. The data entered by the data steward is then used to search for suitable address data records. The DDQ Bridge now visualizes the external data service search result in a user interface. In the upper part of the UI, we can see what data the data steward has entered in the current change request. In the lower part of the UI, we see the results list, which tell us the search hits returned from the external search. The first column shows us the source of this data, and the values of the second column show us the match score. That is, how closely this data record matches the data already maintained for the change request. The attribute values that are highlighted in the result list are the values that will be updated in the change request if the data steward decides to accept this data set. For the company name attribute, the value CDQ entered in the change request will be overwritten with the new value CDQAG. When you move the mouse over the value, the old value CDQ is displayed for direct comparison. The same applies to the values listed in the columns for street, house number, postal code, and city. If the data steward needs an additional comparison or more information, he can display the selected address in Google Maps. The requester can also display the business partner identification number like a Dun & Bradstreet ID, or the corresponding tax number of the selected record. In this case, the data steward now decides to take the data of the selected record and use it to correct or enrich the change request. On the Detail UI, we now have the possibility to select which values we want to copy to the change request. In this case, the data steward decides to enrich the change request with the identification number and the tax number. For comparison, the left half of the UI still shows the data that was entered in the change request. The house number should not be updated, so we have deselected this value. Once we have completed our selection, we press the function button to accept the attribute values and leave the UI. The data is automatically transferred via the DDQ bridge and is updated or enriched in the change request. As we can clearly see, the value of the company name attribute has been changed from CDQ to CDQAG. The same applies to the values of street, postal code, and city. We had deselected the attribute house number, so that value was not copied into the change request. If we continue to scroll down our change request, we can also see that the change request has been automatically enriched with the business partner identification ID and the tax ID. Let's briefly summarize how the DDQ bridge can improve the quality of your master data during the MDM process. First, the DDQ bridge is fully integrated with SAP MDG. The generic DDQ framework reduces implementation costs through simple customization. The DDQ bridge also supports fast implementation and speeds up your MDG projects. The DDQ bridge can be extended modularly by additional data quality services like Dun & Bradstreet, for example. Finally, the DDQ bridge is SAP certified and is a smart solution that guarantees companies better investment protection overall. Thank you for your time and attention. If you have any questions or are interested in learning more about the DDQ bridge, please feel free to contact us at any time.